Warning, this show contains adult language, so viewer and listener discretion is advised. Welcome to another edition of Up and In It. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff, and if you're new here, welcome as well. And if you're wondering what the show is about, it's entirely dedicated to improving quality of life for both people and planet through liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving and living life or the way you want. This is episode 232, and it's 221, Economy Fears Rant. And the background noise is my F-350. This is my mobile studio, guys, so that's my work commute. That's how I do these podcasts. But let's jump into it, man. There's no crystal ball. There's no magic crystal ball. I don't think that anybody knows what's going on. And there's some things that look like they're obvious, but still people are in power that make decisions are so smart. Sometimes they come up with some things, and I've seen this before in my research where people said, you know, there was a guy from the 1970s, you know, we had a big fallout back then, and he says, you know what, I'm out of here. And he moved to the big island of Hawaii, and I found this through my research of like, you know, I looked at like, well, maybe it'd be good to do a homestead in Hawaii where you grow year round. And so this gentleman ended up talking about a history of farming and the crash and stuff, what happened with nitrogen. It's very fascinating talk. Very hard to get through though, because just like probably like the audio in this podcast here, there was some severe background noise. But like he said, they magically pulled something off, and they always seem to do. But the one thing that I do see is that things don't really come back the same. We have price hikes and all kinds of different things. So we're still living, we're still alive. And I think that that's the point when people start to get conspiracy theorists, you know, start coming out with all these crazy things that make sense. And I mean, a lot of them got scientific backing, and it's a whirlwind. And none of us really know what to do, but it's good to kind of ponder and to look around and to notice that, look, something could happen, and we have no idea what the fuck it is. So the one thing I do look at is automation has been here. I've been talking about this for, oh my God, probably about 10 years now. Like just off and on, you know, people I know, I was having a conversation, and, you know, it was about, oh my God, I'd say it probably about 10 years ago, it spurted off. So I went into a Jack in the Box. And they had I think it was about 10 years ago, or McDonald's, I couldn't remember. They had the kiosk already, and I just went, what? What is that? Are you kidding me? And it was amazing. You didn't have to wait in line, and I just said, that makes a lot of sense. And I started thinking about other things that could be incorporated into businesses. And the list just goes on and on and on. I had a landlord whose wife's job was automating the automation in the medical field. They're automating the automation. I was like, that's just genius. So there's so many places that that automation could go. We definitely have the robots. If you haven't seen them, they have these robots that look like dogs, and they actually could pull an entire like semi truck. You know, they haul bricks out from underneath buildings, and like these things. I just witnessed the other day, there was a wood chipper, and the guy was sitting down in the truck with a remote control or standing next to it. I got a video, if I remember, I'll put it up on like Instagram or something. And he's just sitting there with his wood chipper with you know, and these things could get sensors. I mean, I shit you guys not, there's a saw, a reciprocating, a sawzall that had a app that like a chip in it that you could put an app to your phone, and it'll literally tell you when the blade's not sharp anymore, when you should replace your blade. It's down to a saw. Now that's just ridiculous, I think, but I never try to put things past me, you know, overlook it. Maybe it's smart, I don't know. I just simply look at my blade, feel my blade. I kind of know when it needs to be replaced. But the point is that how automation's moving in on many, many things. And I think it's definitely something to keep an eye out. And this is not a doomsday. Anybody who's followed this show, you know that I'm not a doomsday person. I just wanted to kind of talk about a few things here, and then about what's going on, what I think is going on, how I have no fucking idea, nobody else does. But what we can do about it too. So moving forward, a lot of these job losses, I feel so sorry for a lot of people, and business losses as well. There's a lot of businesses that have gone down, and most of them are not coming back. We keep talking about this subject matter of why is it that some made it and some didn't? People are improvising, they're pivoting, they're changing with the times. A lot of us, I think, we get comfortable, especially our generations. I'm not talking just mine, which is Generation X, I think, but millennials, everybody. This whole system we have set up, to me, is complete predictability and comfort. or so we think, until nature or whatever brought in COVID-19 and things like that, and everything gets completely turned upside down. So we're trying to achieve uniformity, you know, and it doesn't seem like it. You can't compartmentalize everything and expect to get the same results. There's always something that will come and change. So it's healthy for us to be out of our comfort zones. It doesn't mean go beat the shit out of yourself, you know, like I do, but completely out of your comfort zone almost all the time. But it helps to exercise. This stimulus mentality is dangerous, and I wanted to talk about why. I think a lot of people are we've been raised like children, I think. That's what it reminds me of. I know there's a lot of people that need to have the stimulus money, and I don't understand how. I guess I just got through the wires that people are getting unemployment and stimulus checks and all that, and they're actually making more money right now. This is May 2021. Than they'd make if they went to work. So they have no incentive to go to work. We have 30 million people. The last time I checked, the numbers might be higher, lower right now, I don't know. Last time I checked, probably about 3 weeks ago, there was 30 million Americans out of work, drawing unemployment and things like that. The problem with this, with the people who can work, as I said before, ad nauseum, you know, your credit score is going to fucking dive. If you need to go buy a new car, or you wanted to buy a house, or to me, you know, start a business, do it, anything that involves that sort of loans, I think you're pretty much screwed. So the stimulus, I think, there's a whole bunch of talk. Again, I don't know what's going on. I'm not claiming, but the UBI, Universal Basic Income, seems like that's what they're trying to use to maybe possibly save the economy. There's this great reset talk. I need to look more into that. And I just want to say, the reason why I don't is I actually take care of myself. I prep my life. I live to produce my own goods as most as I can, to grow a lot of my own food. I'd say mainly it's been the preparation of saving money, emergency funds and investment funds. And it's just all cash, you know, and emergency food, emergency gas supplies, and my water filtration systems. We're gonna talk about, I think the next episode is gonna be about a lot of that prepping stuff. And you know what? I'm still minimally affected. I'm still, my drive, my capability of adapting and pivoting around has led me to staying the exact same. It's May of 2021. We're going into June, and I'm able to sell work. I was actually hoping for, you know, not in a bad way. I was just hoping for like my own personal benefit that I could actually take a break for a while, because I'm pretty tired. I freaked out and I started overworking, but it led to me saving even more money. And the thing is, I'm least affected by all this. And in fact, I looked at it. I know this is not good for that for most of you guys, but I bought a bunch of mixed drinks, you know, a bunch of alcohols and mixers and some beers and stuff and some food. I kind of stocked up, and I was like, you know what? When it does, I just want to party. I want to sleep in. I want to wake up, mix myself a Bloody Mary, and make me a fucking T-bone steak and some mashed potatoes for breakfast, you know? Go sit in the jacuzzi with a mimosa. I totally planned this whole thing to be sitting in flip-flops in a fucking robe. You know, just kidding. I don't own a robe, but I'd wear it if I had it. Goddamn, I'd wear the shit out of that thing. Robe and, you know, an ice cold beer at 9 o'clock in the morning, walking to the jacuzzi, carrying a plate of bacon, you know? And like animal slippers, like bunny slippers. No, that's what I want for most people, is to be able to play, man, and be able to have not have this stress and not be able to be dependent. So that's what I mean about the stimulus thing and this universal, possibly basic income, is that you're under, you know, you're like a kid getting an allowance, and I think that the powers that be would give you just enough to keep you the economy stimulated, and just enough for you to survive, to get by. Look, we're going to give you medical, dental, and pay these checks and everything. You're not going to make more or less than anybody else. Everybody gets the same, you know. Who knows how they're going to play this thing out, and if it even rolls out. But you're just surviving, man. This is what the opening statement for the show is: moving you from surviving to thriving. And that's the dangers. I think that they're getting people, they're turning the rat race even more into rats. And people are more than willing to do it. They just open up the door. They don't need to put cheese anymore. And these people are just walking right in. I mean, I've even heard that people don't want the masks and everything to be uplifted. They want to, this whole lockdown thing, they want to keep lockdown. What the fuck is the matter with fucking people? You know, we've been domesticated. And a lot of us are feral, and I don't know. I'm just rambling off here. So, yeah, it's dangerous. It's dangerous to get in that mentality, and many, many things could go wrong. If you want to design your own life, as we say on the show, don't let somebody design it for you. That's exactly what they're doing. You're in a fucking trap. And the more and more they end up having control of designing your life, the more it's going to be done. They're going to say jump and you say how high. Get in there. If you want a life of freedom, you got to do it yourself. Now, revamping the economy, the engine, restarting the engine here, to me is common sense. When we look at business and things, there's so many moving parts. Just like a permaculture system where you got swales, you know, soaking up water, and you've got cloud nets and solar panels and compost piles and all this intricate thing. It's like if you just removed the water and everything dried out, it'd be all screwed up. We'd have to start again. The saturation levels have to be achieved. We'd have to restart the worm compost and compost in general, start stuff from seed. So it's not like everything just flips on a switch overnight and bam, we're back in business. Again, I don't know. I don't know if they've got some weird fucking, you know, some tricks up their sleeves, but when we have gas shortages, we get an everything shortage. And we've had a gas shortage, we've had a meat shortage. There's some videos showing them throwing billions, not millions, billions of pounds of potatoes. They had to pay to bury them on their farm because there was nobody there to buy them. The supply chain got disrupted. And we're going to talk about that on tomorrow's episode, the next one. So, yeah, I don't know, guys. It's not like you can just flip a switch. I'm interested to see. That's why the next podcast is going to be about the disruption in supply chains. But this can happen at any moment. And I think by getting people on universal basic income and getting everybody in their pocket, that it's a lot more predictable. And I think that we can move things a lot more efficiently and kind of see things before they happen with surveillance, giving people UBI, putting people in housing, and things of that nature. I think it'd be a hell of a lot easier for the government or the powers that be to actually control you. And I don't know. And I think using part of this whole recession thing and this disruption of the supply chain, all of these things happening here, I think it's perfect to reorganize things. It's almost like, look, we helped you, right? We gave you money. A lot of people didn't want to work. Jobs opened up. You know, that's what they're saying. McDonald's is offering bonuses, pre-bonuses, just to show up and start your first day of work. And a lot of people don't want to do it. So the government could look and say, hey, and you'd have to realize in yourself, fuck, yeah, I fucked up. I could have worked, but I didn't want to. So now we're going to have to introduce the robots to do the jobs that you guys aren't doing. And now we're going to have to put you guys on universal basic income. We're going to have to change everything around because the economy can't withstand this, right? Who knows? So my biggest questions with the automation and all this kind of stuff is, are the aphids needed? Or the aphids are needed, or are they? And if you don't know what an aphid is, it's a little tiny insect that attaches itself to a plant and starts sucking the sugar, the sap out of it. And it excretes these little honeydew, this little sugar water, and these ants come, and I call the ants the powers that be in the government, and they'll literally milk the aphids. They'll protect the aphids from ladybugs and lacewing flies, from all the other predators that they have, the parasitic wasps and stuff like that. The ants will actually defend them and move them around and place them in places and make sure they're taken care of so that they can keep getting the sap off that aphid. That's what an aphid is. It's on vegetable plants, roses and things like that. So, are they needed? How are they going to stay? How are we going to make use of our aphids, of our cows, right? Our milking cows, when we don't need them anymore? We're able to synthetically produce milk, or, you know, we don't need this anymore. We've got something else in place. So that's a very scary situation. I don't know what's to become of it, but in all of this doomsday bullshit here, you need to take control of your life, as I said. You need to design your life for yourself. You need to become a producer. You need to move from a consumer to a producer. And that's the biggest problem that we have right now, is that almost everything, from your shoes, your gas, your electricity, your money, the water you drink. We're going to talk about that. I mean, believe it or not, folks, there was a day and time when you could actually drink water from a well, or straight from a well, or from a stream, and you didn't fucking have the chance of getting poisoned of toxicities and chemicals and things like that. You might get a little bit of ringworm or some sort of parasitic infection, but but that's about it. But I think that this predictability, this compartmentalism of all of this stuff that's been going on, and this easement of people just being comfortable, the hot air, the milk's delivered to your door, the newspaper's delivered to your door, you've got everything on the internet, Amazon will have your food, anything you want delivered to your door, the heating's on when it gets cold, it keeps your house at 72 degrees year round, you're completely in your comfort zone, there's absolutely no danger, you've never experienced danger, in your life, or minimal amounts, and you sit in your house and you never get sunlight, you never get rained on, you never feel what it feels like to be cold and soaking wet, and then all of a sudden things get disrupted. I think it's a perfect way for them to control us. It seems like people are more than willing, but those of you who are still feral and you still want to design your own life, we got to get out there and become a producer. Start producing your own cleaning products like I do for pennies on the dollar. Turn around and sell those cleaning products for people for pennies on the dollar, cheaper than what they can buy from inflation, right? Start bartering, start producing your own meat, start hunting, fishing, foraging, all these things that we got, studying survivalism and preparedness, not to the extent where we're all going to hide in bunkers and shit, from the zombies, but get some extra gas. We're going to talk about that. Best preparations for the possible coming shortages or disruptions in the supply chain. But as I said, guys, I'm minimally affected. That's why I like to do the Instagram videos. I want to show you guys some things that I've got going on of like in the background of how I prepare, how I save. I'm not going to take you guys in my bank account, but I'd like to show you guys like my food, my gas, and like my strategies of how I do stuff. So that's the show, guys. I hope you got something out of it. I hope I didn't freak you out. I hope I gave you guys at least a little bit. I know we did more of a doomsday thing than actual solutions, but think about what that means to you. Become a producer. Move from a consumer to a producer. I'm standing here right now watching a man with 6 1-gallon water containers, walking on a cart. You can get the gravity-fed filtration system for pennies on the dollar, and you could produce your own water from home and not have to do this exercise. You could actually be out making a living, producing your own food, so many things. Just get that philosophy down. It's in the mindset and it's in the philosophy. I'm taking too much time up here. Shit, we're already at 17 minutes. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Please, if I bring you some value, please like, subscribe, review, share this with some people. Help me get the show off the ground so I can keep doing it. It's upandinitshow@gmail.com. upandinitshow.com. You can see the website and Up and In It on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and anywhere where I can do these podcasts. And as I always say, guys, go out there and have yourself a near life experience. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. Human up. Live it, love it, own it, and bone it, my friends.